We are good.
Is it recording?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the first virtual mind share. This is going to be exciting. Thank you for your patience while we work out these technical glitches. Hopefully we won't have too many today. There are just a couple announcements I want to go over briefly, and then we'll get to hear from Christine, and then I'll do a short presentation on marketing, and then we're going to open up the floor to any questions you guys might have about any of the stuff that we covered. So for those of you who haven't joined us before, our mission is to inspire excellence in communication and marketing, encourage collaboration between businesses and organizations and individuals in the Shenandoah, top of Virginia region. That's the mission of our group. And our vision for this group is to create a community of success-minded marketers that through education and collaboration, expand the capacity of all of our members to achieve great things for the benefit of our area. A couple things I want to mention just while we're in this period of having to do everything virtually. I do want to still encourage you guys to do one-on-ones. Let's keep connecting. There's been a lot of great networking that's been happening already over Zoom and Skype and FaceTime. So I want to encourage you guys to keep on doing that in the group. Just as you're able, nothing formal, but just sometime during this meeting, you can private message just one person and exchange email addresses. If you are looking at like the gallery view, you can right click or click like those three little dots above them or in the upper right hand corner and hit chat, and then you can send them a private message so you're not like chatting with everyone. But highly recommend doing that just so you can connect with one person over the next month before our next meeting. And just find a time to schedule, connect and collaborate over video call, FaceTime, Skype, Hangout, Zoom. If you need any help working any of these programs or picking a program, just let me know and I can help you set that up with each other. The other thing is an update on panels. With everything going on, we're going to delay panels until we can do these in person. I'd rather have that collaboration happening in person in the room than trying to do it over virtual, just with all of the technical details of Zoom and everything. So hopefully in May, depending on what happens with all of this and what the chamber ends up deciding, we'll be having our first panel about how audience segmentation improves marketing results. If you'd like to join that panel, please indicate on the feedback form that we'll be sending out after the meeting today. But other than that, we're going to keep on trying to meet as much as we can, keep this normally the last Wednesday, the fourth Wednesday of every month for as long as we can do this. Christine, are you ready to walk us through some stuff?
Sure. So good morning, everyone. I'm Christine Kriz, the director of the Small Business Development Center. As you can imagine, we're just a little busy right now. We are here to help assist small business owners. Specifically right now, we've received some training from the SBA to help guide people through applying for the Small Business Disaster Loan Fund. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me after the meeting. I'm happy to help you and help you answer questions, potentially even for your clients. You may be getting questions as well. So I think at this point in time, it's important for people to feel a connection. And one of the things that we've been encouraging our clients to do is to just stop and take a breath and recognize that, okay, things are changing. It's not how we normally do business. And to really get out of their own way so that they can brainstorm ideas and suggestions on how to move forward. And some of the best ways that we've seen people gain momentum is through video marketing and with a cause. So we've got one client in Warrington, Great Harvest Bread Company, that was about to close the doors, and we said, okay, what if someone donated money and you baked bread for the food bank? And so we had that happen, and we started having them video the result of
Uh-oh.
March, and he's been open for 10 years. So
Hey,
I want to
Christine,
encourage folks.
real quick, you got muted there. Could you just repeat that last sentence?
Sure. So with Great Harvest Bread Company, we've been encouraging him to do marketing with a cause and a purpose. And so with the donations, we started publicizing that on Facebook and social media. And he's had one of the best months he's had in 10 years of business. And so the key was, at first, he did a picture and we said, that's great, do a video and capture the emotion of folks. I think with the social distancing, everybody is craving for that interaction. So if we can give that to people through video and help them feel good about something, that's amazing. Another story is, Victoria Kid with Hideaway Cafe doing the kits, the survival kits, and having a roll of toilet paper, and she's got her cute little kid in it, and so that makes people feel good. Anthony's Pizza, designing kits for people to take home and make pizza with their kids, and it's got coloring stuff in it. So it is a different time, and we really have to encourage people to try to stay positive in their marketing and create that human interaction, and that's what's going to get people on board. We also have been sharing with our folks a communication plan template. So you may or may not have already done this or shared this with your clients, but it's a simple template, and I can share it with Rebecca or Ashley to email to you about, okay, who do I need to communicate with? What is the best vehicle to do that, and how should I do that? And so, thinking about things that may come up, forward thinking, if, for example, on our team, if I end up with the coronavirus, or if I live way out in the sticks and I can't communicate, LFCC has already been advised, okay, Dale Mazza is going to get on my emails, Aaron Riddle can do the website. So just helping people think through, okay, if the worst happens, we'll continue on, but what will happen and what communication needs to happen in my business to make that work? I think the one thing that we need to encourage our sorry about that, that's my dogs. One thing we need to encourage folks is to please continue to market and communicate online, whatever social media is, their best method for reaching folks, to please keep communicating with their clients and their colleagues, because people are hungry for that. And I think that will help them bring them through this. I'd love to open it up to any questions, and I'm not sure exactly who all is on the line, so I don't want to keep talking and bore you if this doesn't apply to you. So I'd love to open it up to questions.
Actually, let's hold off on questions, because I have just a little bit more detail to go into with the marketing stuff. It won't take long, and then we can have all of the questions at once. Does that work for you, Christine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was really helpful. I've been loving seeing all of the ways that our local businesses are finding ways to market and still help people. And so I didn't know that about the Great Harvest, and that's really good to know that the businesses are still doing okay, even though it's tough out there. So yeah, just want to go in a little bit deeper about how to reach your audience during a crisis. Like, if you remember last month, we mentioned that our topic series for this year is all about how to reach your audience. And right now, focusing specifically on how to reach your audience during a crisis. Like Christine said, don't stop marketing. People still want to know that you're operating. They still want to know what to expect from you in terms of your services. Like Christine was saying, what your contingency plans are. Right now is especially the time to let people know how you can help. People want to know how businesses are able to still provide them with the services, the products they need right now. So if you just stop marketing, it's going to leave a lot of questions of what am I going to do if I need, like if I need a plumbing emergency, what am I going to do if I don't know if this restaurant is still open? So keep marketing, keep letting people know you're there, keep letting people know what to expect, how you might be changing operations, but above all, let people know that you are still there to help them. When you're marketing though, and this is something that has been more popular or more of a trend among the more national and regional brands I've been noticing, is you still have to address what's happening and address the mindset of what people are looking for right now. Avoid sounding tone deaf and don't ignore the crisis. There have been so many people, so many companies, not locally, but across the nation right now, who are showing that they're not really paying attention to what their customers are feeling and thinking right now. They're using this as an opportunity to exploit people's fears. So don't ignore the crisis. Don't keep on acting as if business as usual, because it most certainly is not. But at the same time, keep your messaging simple and avoid anything that might seem exploitative. So there have been some brands. There was an advertising agency that is not in a local advertising agency, I want to say, but as an advertising agency that I've been following. They put out an email list or a message to their email list saying, let's put together your coronavirus package to help you keep from losing clients or teach you how to gain more clients through this, like using this situation as a chance to gain more clients and using that to exploit people. It sounds tone deaf, it sounds exploitative. I get what they were saying, that they're trying to help people use this crisis to their advantage, but it sounds off, it sounds wrong, and it sounds exploitative. So you keep your messaging simple, and above all, keep your messaging on what people are feeling and thinking right now. It's going to avoid sounding tone deaf. And the best way to do that is to figure out where your customers are. And this is where knowing who your customers are, knowing how they talk, knowing what they're thinking, and how they're handling this crisis is vital. So I recommend doing some consumer research, see how you can help them. Even big brands are doing this right now. The national brands are doing this right now. Like Talenti Gelato just interrupted their normal social media posting to ask customers how they're doing, what they want to hear about, how Talenti specifically can help. And of course they got answers back like, just keep posting nice, yummy pictures of how you can help them. The Chamber's been doing an excellent job at this, sending out surveys, seeing how they can help, provide new services, provide support to members. So above all, before you do anything else and trying to test messaging and things like that, see what it is that your audience wants. You can also use Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a rough guide, and this is digging kind of to the psychological impact of marketing. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, I know this might be a little hard to see on your screen. The psychological needs or physiological needs are first, so things like food, water, warmth, rest, and we can see a lot of that with some of the stockpiling that's going on in grocery stores right now. The second tier of needs is safety needs, so like security and safety, and then belongingness and love, so relationships and friends. Esteem needs, so a feeling of prestige and accomplishment, and then self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, and that includes creative activities. So right now, all top marketing strategy sources are saying people are focusing on these three right now in terms of consumer behavior and interactions. People are primarily in a crisis trying to make sure these top two needs are met and that this is also being met at the same time. Because we're doing social isolation right now, this one is becoming more and more difficult for people to meet. which is where, like Christine was saying, adding in that personal connection to your marketing, reaching out to people personally if you're in sales, following up with them. My husband just followed up with hundreds of his LinkedIn contacts just to see how they're doing right now. And he received lots of responses back saying, thank you for reaching out, because we're missing the personal connection right now. So the ways that you can use this in your marketing is, like Christine was saying, do more videos, do podcasts, provide that interaction that in some way people can feel like you're providing some amount of relationship, some amount of human connection to them right now. Because with everyone being isolated, the amount of human interaction is decreasing. Some strategy sources are also saying these two are not as important right now. So that means things like luxury brands, non-essential items are going to have to figure out ways to pivot the marketing so that they're addressing these higher levels of needs right now. So this is just a rough guide to help you think about ways you might be able to pivot or spin your marketing a little bit. But the other thing I recommend you guys look into is doing some research into national and global trends to see how this is going to impact consumer behavior. Nielsen did a study of how the pandemic has been impacting consumer behavior based on what they're seeing both in the United States and around the globe. And they've identified 6 different tiers, basically. So first is when you have those minimized localized cases, which is technically where we're at in Winchester right now. People are focused on that proactive health-minded buying. Then they move into the reactive health management, trying to provide protection against the virus. And then they start stockpiling their pantries. And then they start preparing for quarantine living preparation, which means an increase in online shopping, decrease in in-store visits, rising out of stock strains on the supply chain. This is also where we're at in terms of consumer behavior locally. We're moving into the restricted living period, which is likely to last, by all experts' opinions, until end April, where we're seeing severely restricted shopping trips, but at the same time, online fulfillment is limited and there's limited stock impact. The limited stock is impacting pricing. So what this indicates for local businesses is there is going to be a rise of local shopping as online shopping is decreasing. Places like Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco are running out of their stock due to issues with the supply chain. People are going to be turning more and more to local brands, local sources for their food, for all their other basic daily essential needs, which is a prime place for all of our local businesses to come and meet that gap. So local grocery chains, local farm markets. Sullenberger has been doing a great job, I know, but all of our other local businesses, this is the time for them to really get ahead of all of this and start putting themselves out into the market to show people there are other options as we start going this direction, letting people know that they're still going to be able to get the things that they need. And then the final stage that Nielsen is showing is, and China is experiencing this right now, is people return to a new normal. They return to those daily routines, but they operate with renewed caution about health. And there are permanent shifts in the adoption of remote tools and e-commerce. So I think as we get through this, we're going to see more and more businesses moving to e-commerce, to remote tools, which again, local businesses can take all of these changes that they're making right now, all of the online ordering, the call in for your order, and figure out ways to apply that to on an ongoing basis. So bring in that infrastructure so that they can always offer this online ordering and fulfillment, or call in with your order and fulfillment, because what the statistics and the data is showing is people aren't ready to go back to just standard shopping trips. They are still showing that caution about being out in public. So the expectation is that the way things are right now and the way businesses are operating right now is going to continue at some level at an ongoing basis. So with that in mind, you need to be thinking about how your marketing can help prepare people for that, letting people know you're going to be offering this for as long as your business sees necessary, or even if this is becoming a main part of your operations, you're always going to offer this to people. The third thing about marketing in a crisis is to try and craft a message of hope. There's a lot of brands out there that are helping people look forward beyond the crisis, and those have been some of the most powerful messages from brands. For instance, Levi Jeans put out a statement that was basically to the effect of, we know you're not interested in buying $100 jeans right now, but we want to let you know we're here for you. Our operations are still running, and when you're ready to think about jeans again, we'll be here. There's been other ones like Southwest who have said, schedule, if you're canceling your flight now, just reschedule it for however long in advance, up to a year. You won't have any cancellation fees, but plan your post-pandemic celebratory vacation. So there are brands out there that are helping point people beyond, but also helping them through the crisis right now. There's a local company who's working to keep some of their events running, but keep the events running online and virtually so that people can still stay connected. There's races that are now becoming virtual races. There's a half marathon locally that is one of the bigger half marathons in the area. And they are having to cancel the in-person race, but they're challenging everyone to be sharing, to still run the half marathon and to share their times on this board so that everyone can still see, like, we're still running, we're still a running community. So crafting that message of hope, helping people stay connected, encouraging that and fostering that spirit of community are all powerful ways to help people through this crisis with your marketing. Helping people see that this won't last forever, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that we can make it through together. And then the fourth thing is providing real value. And this is a standard marketing philosophy, but it's especially powerful and important to do it right now. Right now is the time to be investing in your long-term brand. The goal should not be to make money, but to let people know that you care about them and you're there for them and you're there to help them however you can right now. So focusing your messaging on how your product or service will help people through. People don't want to be sold a product right now. They want to be sold a solution and they want to be sold a result. So for instance, I know we received this question of how can, if you have a service-based business, how can you keep on marketing? It's the way you can approach your marketing if you have a service-based business is by figuring out what it is that you sell them to begin with, that final result. So if you have a salon, you're selling them maybe that confidence or that self-esteem of having their hair done every few weeks. And so now that they're not going to be able to go to the salon, they're going to be maybe feeling that decrease in confidence or self-esteem. So figuring out ways that you can help them maintain that level of confidence while they're not able to go to your salon. So maybe you give them tips about how to take care of your hair. Maybe you give them styling techniques. Like, this is how you can use some of your normal everyday tools to achieve similar looks. These are the products you should be using to help your hair. Things like that you can still be providing value to your customers even when you can't be in person with them right now. You can still be providing people with solutions even if they aren't buying your normal product or service. So in terms of some practical tips, Christina and I gave some really fantastic ones, like reach out and see how you can help. Do video. There's some additional ones like adjust your advertising spends, minimize your out-of-home physical advertising if you can, increase your digital efforts like articles, videos, social, email, digital ads. People are on their phones and on their computers way more than normal right now. So now is a good time. If you are able to help, if you have the additional advertising budget to get in front of them to help reach more people and help provide more people with solutions to their problems, and maintain or even decrease a little bit your television and radio ads. Again, people are having their televisions on a lot more, same with radio, so at least maintain those advertising spends if you're there already. Now is also the perfect time to hone your marketing strategy and infrastructure. All of those things that you say you never have time for, now is the perfect time to make use of the downtime from closures and everything else going on to make your business better. So things like work on your brand strategy, your messaging, your audience personas, your website, your social media, your CRM, all of those things. And I'm not saying this because this is what we do. I'm saying it because now is the great time to make sure your business is running smoothly, it's getting healthier, and you'll come out all the better on the other side of this pandemic for working on your business while everything else is shut down. Marketing never ends, and now's the perfect time to make sure everything in your marketing strategy is working correctly. And finally, brainstorm more ways that you can provide value. Christine went over this really well. But just figuring out if you need to pivot the products or services your business provides, and then be creative. Find new ways to help people, and then use your marketing to tell them how you can help them. So just some overall, practical tips to help you guys with your marketing right now. And now, if you guys have any questions, let's see. How about we do this? I'm going to allow you guys to unmute. And then you can just unmute yourself if you have a question. So, all right, now you guys can unmute if you have a question.
Hi, it's Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, so I just was wondering if anyone has a really interesting, marketing win, or something that they feel like they've done that's in response to this crisis that they felt was maybe done well. Any shared stories, I guess, would be interesting to hear.
Yeah, I'm going to open this up to everyone. If anyone's experienced this, please share.
I got one. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
So I'm from Special Love, so we're a nonprofit, so a little different than most of you guys. But what we are doing is we had real concerns about all the events we've had to cancel because of our events are for kids with cancer and their families. So this is like a big no-no for us, right? So, but our families really want to stay connected with each other and with us. And so we have created virtual camp. So every few days, like last night, we put out a photo challenge for Show Us Your Quarantine Buddy. So I'm getting all kinds of pictures of kids with dogs and horses and all kinds of crazy stuff. And we're adding them to our story so that people can see them. Tomorrow night, we're doing a virtual campfire, and some of our counselors are leading songs where they've recorded videos or dances or both. And we're adding that all of that together in a video. Quality is not so great yet, but we're getting there. So really just trying to make sure that we are interacting with our families because we want them to continue to be connected. And then as far as a business sense, it is a development opportunity in the sense that we have to bring in money, even though we've had to cancel 3 of our big fundraisers this year. So we did send out a note yesterday talking about some of the things we're still doing, like our emergency financial relief, and we actually got in a couple $1,000s in donations yesterday. So just by keeping people informed as to what we're still doing and what, even though, yes, we can't be with our families in person right now, we can still be there for them financially. We even do things like, unfortunately, like funeral assistance, which we had a call for yesterday. So, we are trying to be as transparent as possible, and it's really making us get more creative, which I think everyone's kind of talked about already. But it's so far been okay. So I might be a little frazzled in about 5 days, but we're getting there. So that would be my sharing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. I also know I don't see Matt on here. Matt Swain. But I know the library, like you guys, the library's been doing all these virtual like story times and things like that, which have been super, super fun for my kids. And like we've been chatting back and forth about this, all of the live streams that they're pointing people to. So it's that staying in front of people and maintaining, you know, we're here to support you and we're providing fun things for your kids to do while they're stuck at home. Does anyone else have any stories they want to share?
So mine's from a little bit different angle, only because I'm in the advertising realm, and I work with a client that's in a different area. They're in Loudoun County, but it's a restaurant, and about 3 months ago they started doing delivery service, which they hadn't done before, and they started doing catering. So they were working on building that business anyways. So when all of this kind of happened, they actually tripled their advertising budget with me as far as television advertising specifically. And they've seen a huge response. One of the amazing things is that since everything's kind of happened, they've been able to hire, at least part-time and at least for now, 10 additional drivers. So people who've become unemployed from other restaurants, people who've been laid off from other businesses, they're able to give them jobs, they're able to actually grow. But they're also able, because people are going to the grocery store and they're finding nothing, they're finding empty shelves, they're able to help they're even doing bulk buying and delivering bulk food to people, which is it's just fantastic. And they've seen a huge increase and huge change. And that's very rewarding and beneficial. You know, it's very rewarding for me to hear how well they're doing from something that we did together.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I've been seeing too, not so much like around Winchester, but in other areas and other markets I'm a part of and I keep in touch with. There's this like hesitancy to not use this the situation as an opportunity to grow. But like you said, Jackie, like they're growing and they're growing by helping people, which is what marketing should be about in the first place. Like you market to tell people you can help them. It's not self-serving. It's not being pushy. It's just letting people know you can help them. There are people out there with problems. People can't find food. So let's put marketing out there that we can do bulk ordering through our wholesaler. And like, yeah, that's a fantastic way to go out and help people. And it does give your brand an added boost, but that's not wrong or anything. Does anyone else have anything they want to share?
Hi, it's Michelle. Everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
It's not our personal business, obviously, since I'm in a totally different realm. But what I've been seeing, since a lot of small businesses are already on Facebook, and they know that these people are stuck at home, as I'm witnessing myself with my husband tinkering around the house, you're finding out a lot of little things that are broken that you haven't had time to get to that are easy fixes. So I'm seeing a lot of the handyman services using that to their advantage with other electronic capabilities that we already have, like different banking products and services and apps even that allow you to pay people over your phone. It's a great way to still help and reach out if there's a particular small handyman job that you don't know how to do yourself, that the handyman services are marketing that, hey, give us a call. We'll walk you through the process and, oh, you'll get a discounted rate because I'm not there in person helping you do the job, but I am lending you my services during this time where you're stuck at home and maybe your pipes are leaking or maybe you're having some issue with a knob or something like that.
That's super cool.
Yeah, Bill Nordman here. Two things that I'm in. One is the commercial real estate side, and the other is our company, Historic Properties, which I found time to sit down, go through my lists, pull stuff, and mail somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 postcards. We use those a lot for the historic properties. And it's just time consuming, you know, in terms of pulling the data, doing some cleanup work on that because the court records are sometimes a little funky, but getting those out. And then on the commercial side, haven't seen much of a slowdown. I mean, locally, you know, working especially with restaurants and some of those service companies, we're seeing them, you know, back off and in terms of, you know, new openings or purchases. but coming from out of state and looking for investment stuff, it seems, they haven't slowed down much, and that's kind of nice. But it's also nice to be at home, continuing education. You sit down and do a lot of reading, so that's where it's happening from the real estate aspect.
I've been wondering how the real estate market's been doing, because it's not like the investment, the long-term trajectory of Winchester and the area is changing because of this. It's just a temporary setback, economically speaking. So I've been wondering how the real estate market's been faring.
Well, there's two parts. One is the residential, and the other is the commercial. Residential, I'm sure, is taking, especially on the lower end, taking a bit of a hit. But on the commercial side, not too many people are backing away.
That's good to hear. That's really encouraging to hear. People are so interested in our area. Yeah, and that what you said about sending out postcards was really good. Another one of those ways to let people know you're there and you care, providing your contacts with ways to let you know, letting your contacts know you're still there to help and you want to see how they're doing. Is there any other insights on wins for small and local businesses or organizations?
So I have an example, not necessarily for me personally, because like Jackie, we do work for other businesses, but one of our clients, because of having to temporarily shut down because of COVID, she, and this is for a salon, she started offering products for sale online. And I think it was not only successful, but I think it was also really encouraging to her, because it just demonstrated the loyalty of her clients, because so many of them stepped up and have been buying product from her and buying gift cards from her, really to the point that I think she's almost sold out. So, no, but it's been really exciting to see that, she's offering them a solution. People still want to keep their hair maintained, even in the midst of, social distancing and all of that. And she offered a solution, and people were excited about it and jumped on it. So.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing that across the board everywhere. The people who are already invested in their customers are now coming back and supporting them. Like Hideaway, I know, is a huge example of that. And a lot of the other local restaurants and small businesses, everyone's coming out in droves to help support them right now. Do you have any other questions or insights on what businesses are doing right now? Any questions for Christine in particular about what the SBDC is doing? I have a question for you, Christine. How's it going over there? Are you guys getting swamped, or is it still okay?
We are getting swamped. We're doing fine. We had a webinar, I think it was Monday, 2:00. We had 300 people on, and 5:00, I think there were 500 people on the webinar and another 100 on Facebook Live. So people are desperate for information. And so, please, if you're talking with your clients and they're small business owners, there's a lot of rumors going around about what the SBA will or will not approve, and feel free to have them reach out to us. I will say, just to dispel some of the rumors, the SBA is encouraging all small businesses to apply, to not wait until you've exhausted all of your credit cards and line of credit, to go ahead and apply now. It is a fixed rate. There is a rumor that the loans won't have to be paid back. That is not true at this point in time. And when they should go ahead and apply for the loan. It covers 6 months of operating expenses at this point in time. The first payment isn't due until a year after the loan is approved. The interest, however, does start to accrue at the time of cash disbursement. So, and the other rumor is that at this point in time, the SBA has told us there is no correlation between if your employees take unemployment, that does not disqualify you to be eligible for this loan fund. So if you hear any rumors or something doesn't sound right, or people just have questions, we're here to help as best we can.
Sorry, guys. I just realized I've been missing your guys' chat. Thank you, Christine. Question for you on the loan thing. So I know I was seeing some things about how you already had to prove damage. Are you saying that the SBA is not requiring that? Like it had to be
Correct.
significant damage, not just predicted?
That's not correct. So when you go into the loan application, you will select economic injury. That's the only thing that you need to select. Even though some of the other options will be there, just select economic injury. And what the SBA is basing it on is not lost profits or sales. I mean, they're going to talk to you about that, but what they're basing it on at this point in time is 6 months of operating expenses. And those are that you could have paid had this disaster not happened.
Okay. That is very helpful. Are there any markers in terms of, like, if you already have a huge amount of debt, you're probably not going to qualify, or are they just taking it based on operating expenses?
What they have told us at this point in time is that there is no minimum like credit score, and that they will make a decision case by case on the ability to pay back the loan. They are, going to look at extenuating circumstances, especially given the disaster that we're in now, and they may be approving loans that they wouldn't have approved, in normal times.
Okay. That's good to know. Really good to know. Anyone else have any questions for Christine? Or questions at all about marketing or anything we're doing here?
I think just one other point about the SBA loans, another question that's come up. If you have clients that are sole proprietors, they are eligible for this funding as well. So if you have people like, rental property owners, tutors, caterers, self-employed tradesmen, they do qualify as well.
I know that's one question that's been frequently asked in a lot of the freelancing groups I'm a part of, is what do freelancers who are not S corps do, because they can't file for unemployment. So are you saying you're recommending that they talk to the SBDA?
Yes. And what I can do, Rebecca, I'll send you a PowerPoint after the call that you can feel free to send out with folks, as well as a recording of a webinar. Freelancers can apply for this funding. And again, it's based on how to help small business owners cover, and sole proprietors cover at least 6 months of operating expenses.
That's good to know.
I guess the other point too is that if this whole thing turns around, you don't have to take the loan. So they are encouraging people to apply. They can adjust it up or down if you decide you need less. And decision time from the time you apply to the time they make a decision is 21 days. Total time to cash disbursement is approximately 45 days. And if you apply, please use Internet Explorer or Edge. Don't use Google Chrome. And they recommend getting on between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. to apply. You'll have less glitches.
That is really backwards from what most people say. Most people say do not use Internet Explorer.
Yeah, I know.
For once, Internet Explorer gets a push.
Right.
Back.
It's not working with Google Chrome.
Okay. What about Firefox?
I would try it. Yeah, the only one I've heard bad things about is Google Chrome, and they did take the site down and work on it last night, so maybe they fixed it.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll just end a little bit early. Definitely.
So I actually do have a question, Rebecca.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I don't know about everyone else, but sometimes when I'm crafting messaging, I fall into paralysis by analysis, because I'm trying really hard to sell solutions, and especially right now, not wanting to come across as exploiting people. So I would guess I'm wondering if you, Rebecca, or anyone else has an example of maybe something that came across as exploitative, and then how it could be tweaked to be more coming across as more of a helping hand, selling a solution, that sort of thing.
Let me see if I can pull up my thing. Anyone else has any insights? Please jump in. Let me see if I can pull up what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, this is Jeremy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. If you've got something, go ahead, Jeremy.
So I was just gonna say, I know one area that we've seen it. So right now we're on our Ring Central platform. This is what we use at YHB normally anyway. So we saw with their company, we had to expand some of our capabilities. We found we were limited to 100 people, and we had meetings with more than that. And so Ring Central, that company, we noticed one of their competitors that we had looked at before going with this was like kind of using the fear tactic that Rebecca talked about earlier of hey, before you don't let your business shut down, get on Ring Central type of thing. And there's very much fear versus Ring Central. We saw some of their advertising go out as, we're here to help you, support you. If you're a nonprofit, we're gonna get you some tools right away that you can start using and not have to wait for the backlog of devices to get to you or certain things. And so, and that's kind of the tone we try to take as well, is like, at this point, it's just provide information that's helpful to people. And which is generally what, you want to do anyway as marketing people, is provide valuable information so that you're seen as the expert. And so I think I've seen that, we've seen that. The phone communication system was just one example that was very tangible of a fear tactic versus, we're gonna win you over, being truly helpful.
Yeah, and that's basically the difference in the messaging is don't lead with the virus or lead with fear or playing on people's fears or struggles right now, but lead with value. And so for instance, there have been many companies, like Zoom's one of them, Slack I think is another one, who's offering certain portions of their product either for free, depending on the sector, like nonprofits or what's going on with your business. LinkedIn's offering 6 months of LinkedIn Premium for free for people who've lost their jobs. There's a whole host of people who are offering stuff completely for free. They're not looking for the money, they're looking first to help. And so it's that backing up your words with your actions. So if you're just saying like, we're here to help, we're here to help, we're here to help, but then you're still keeping, not saying you have to discount your services or anything like that, but you're not doing anything to back it up. Like you're not pivoting how you're providing services. You're not adjusting the way that you're letting people pay for your services, things like that. That's when things start to feel exploitative, especially if you're going after, if you're afraid of how your company is going to end up, if you don't do these things, if you're afraid of losing your job, if you're like, here's an example, there have been an explosion of courses for people to help start their businesses right now. The vast majority of them are taking the perspective of don't let your family starve, which is the wrong way to go, obviously. Instead of use this time to improve your skills so you feel more confident starting a business, having more stable income, things of that nature. Does that kind of make sense? And Jackie, I know you had some input too.
So I kind of just wanted to feed off what you had talked about earlier with that ad agency. And unfortunately, a lot of them come at or start with that. And you can even take things and take a different spin on them, but it's all about how you're helping. So it's promoting the solution and not shying away from what's actively happening right now in society, in the world. And the other part is that when we talk about luxury items, Rolex isn't going to come out. And actually BMW is in hot water right now because of one of their marketing campaigns. Talked about, it was something about a roadblock or something. And it was bad juju. Like, so companies mess up. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
But, it's just choosing words wisely. I am going to put this out there. I love playing devil's advocate and working with so many different industries as I do. I am open. If anybody wants to brainstorm, if anybody wants to chat, like, I'm open to it. We can do video chat. I've got Microsoft Teams. I've got Zoom. I've got Skype. So any of it. I'm happy to bounce ideas off of each other, or even if you just want to say, hey, does this sound too pushy, or does this sound like I'm taking advantage of something, we can always talk about it.
Yeah, Jackie, could you put your email address in the chat so people can know? And same for me too. I love word crafting.
I know one of the things that we've talked about, for whatever reason, I'm on the firm's, we have an emergency response team internally to handle issues like this. And, one of the things that we talked about last week was, and it's applicable to marketing people as well, is like, this is a kind of a unique opportunity to really build brand loyalty. So we were talking about in reference to culture and our staff and things like that from a brand. And this is kind of a unique opportunity to you kind of show who your colors are when things are down. How do you speak truth and light into a world that's pretty, dark and scary right now? So I think that is a unique opportunity when we talk about messaging, what we're doing. This is an opportunity, not to take advantage of people, but to show who you are as an organization.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is if you are leading your messaging and crafting your messaging so it's outward facing, not inward facing, if that makes sense, where you're focused more on how your customers are feeling, how your customers are handling this, what you can do to help your customers, offering those solutions, that advice, that input, that guidance, people are going to come back to you. Anything you can do to help people right now. And like I said earlier, pointing people to that hope that we're going to get through this. We stick together, we're going to get through this. That has no matter what your wording ends up being and how you end up putting your words together, people will understand that. And as opposed to if you approach it as, what can I get out of this? If you're pointing people towards hope, they're going to see you care about them, no matter how you're fumbling over your words. As opposed to if you're like, come buy my product because I can help you.
And this might just be a pet peeve of mine. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I'm just, and we're guilty of it too. I let it slip out like once or twice, but I'm just so tired of seeing any ads or messaging that have a picture of the virus, which may or may not be scientifically correct.
Right?
It's red and black. Like, how intimidating can we make this thing? Like, use colors besides red.
Can we just all agree in this group as marketers and advertisers, stop putting the picture of the
like
virus
you could
things?
even see it anyway to know if it's accurate. Like, why do you have to?
I can recognize.
Why not pick like pink and blue or something?
We're guilty of it as well, but can we just all agree to stop it, please?
Yeah. And this is one conscious choice I've made for our internal marketing, is I don't like using even the name. I know it's the technical name, but the name COVID-19 unless I'm trying to get someone's attention. When I'm talking about it normally with clients and in our messaging, I'm calling it pandemic, just because I don't even want to strike up that fear, because COVID-19 has been associated over and over again with the fear. So there are like word association choices that you can make to try and help.
Well, and from a marketing standpoint, just being in the trade industry that I'm in, we also use that word pandemic because it does have a more positive association, because we have had pandemics in the past and we came right through those. And it seems like while we're in it, it's 100 years long. But then we look back on it and go, that was only 2 months. And that's a lot of what we've been talking about with our clients, obviously in my industry, a lot of phone conversations, probably Jeremy's too, with clients who are just worried about what their financial future individually looks like.
And that's one thing I've been noticing with brands who are helping people through this. A lot of the hope is coming from people who went through the 2008 recession and saying, hey, it was tough, we had to cut back, but we made it through. And it was followed by years of growth and improvement and innovation. And that recession pushed us to be more creative and get our business to a better place. And that's additional messaging that I see. It's becoming more and more common, but definitely last week I was not seeing it anywhere, which was really kind of sad. But I think now that we're over that initial week of everything's upside down, everyone's kind of calming down and realizing, we're going to make it through this. This isn't the first pandemic that the world has ever seen. It won't be the last. This isn't the first economic issue and challenge we've seen, and it won't be the last. But if we work together, we can help each other. We can make it through.
Hi, guys. This is Cynthia Schneider.
Hey, Cynthia.
I just want to commend you on this incredible first virtual meeting. You are doing an incredible job. Thank you for the great insight that you are providing to each other that I'm sure will now ripple out to the rest of our membership. Want to remind you that our staff are really seasoned in business, and if you would just direct people if they just need a listening ear of encouragement, that we are here to help. And that's one of the great things I think we can offer. A couple of us particularly have been through 2 and 3 of these type of downturns and have a good compassionate and empathetic ear that we can offer. And that's why we're here, to encourage our members. But I just want to again commend each of you all. Thank you for what you're doing. You really are showing the importance of marketing for our businesses and having a strong strategic marketing plan at all times. So thanks for what you're doing. Take care.
Thank you, Cynthia. Well, we are at 10:30. Does anyone have anything else they want to add?
Bill Nordman, just a couple of final comments. One is that the helping out, I'm a regular blood donor and taking scheduling online, looking at it, they're doing extremely well. Kiwanis Club has blood drives numerous times, and we don't do as well as what they're doing online right now, which is kind of nice. The other thing, reaching back, you were talking about home business or people trying to find other business. There is a website called Franchise Gator. And they deal with all kinds of franchises. I noticed there's a little bit of an uptick in terms of home-based properties. But if people are interested, Franchise Gator is a place maybe to take a look.
I have not heard of this place before. This is cool.
It's out of the commercial world.
Okay. Nice.
I would just encourage her, but I'm sure everyone, just like me, you've been in panic crisis communication mode the last week as you transition your businesses. And I'm just like the rest of you, extremely already tired of coronavirus and everything COVID-19, including staring at pictures of it. So just hang in there, guys. Use this group as a resource. It's exhausting. And I know everyone's working long hours trying to get as much information out that's accurate, and it changes hourly, I think. So just hang in there, guys. Let's all try and support each other, as this weekend as a marketing community here in the Shenandoah Valley.
Yeah, and on that note, I would love for us to stay in closer connection, if possible. And we've tossed this idea around, and we haven't really formalized anything. We're going to throw it out to you guys. Would you guys find it helpful if we put together like a Facebook group or a Slack channel or something like that, so we can hop on with marketing needs and things like that?
I think a Facebook group would be great, and I think that's a great platform for people even to say, hey, how does this sound? Or I'm struggling with an idea for this. Or I think it's a great just conversation starter. It's an easy way, and that's a lot of people know that versus some other platforms.
Okay, yeah. Are there any questions about Facebook? Like, is everyone on Facebook? Does that work for people?
Bill Nordman again. My only question was at the beginning, first meeting, I wondered whether we were ever going to get a list of people who had signed in or shown up and whether that was ever settled.
Yeah, that was settled because it's chamber information. The chamber isn't able to pass out that information to individual members. But with the Facebook group in particular, people will be joining that. So I'm sure you'll be able to connect with a lot of people up there.
Sounds good.
You all are welcome to put together a list as long as you have volunteered that information to us. We can give it out if you have added it or volunteered your information and offered to make it public. Well,
okay, so how about this? For the people who aren't on Facebook, I'll put together like a Google sheet and send that out. We'll send that out with a feedback form and the link to the Facebook page. We'll send out 3 things after this. I'll send out a Google document with people's contact, people can add their contact information. Does that work, Cynthia?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just
Ashley can help you with that.
Yeah, and I'll share that with Ashley and make sure she has admin privileges on that. So that way people.
Excuse me, Rebecca. This is Christine. I have to hop off. I'm really sorry, but I'll
No,
send
that's okay.
the recording and the PowerPoint and email. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much for joining us, Christine, and offering your awesome advice to help us out.
You guys are welcome. Stay healthy, and we're here to help if you need us.
Same to you.
Thank you, Christine.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
This is Cynthia again. I want to bring one more thing to your attention. One, remember, print media is still a very valid point of media. Bill kind of brought that up, touched on that with postcards. I think door hangers right now are exceptionally a good idea. You can get teens or displaced workers to go out into some of the neighborhoods and be doing marketing that way, especially the restaurant industry or some of the small businesses that are doing some things online to bring people's attention to your business locally.
Cynthia, you just reminded me of
large
something.
market of people who are not on social media. Your demographics of men and our younger kids that aren't on Facebook. There's a lot of marketing to be done via the print method. I also want to bring your attention to the front of the Winchester Star in light of print media today. There is an established relief fund that was made by the EDA, the Winchester City EDA for small businesses. So take a look at their front page today in case you know anybody that is in need of relief, their small business in the city of Winchester.
Oh yeah, I saw that press release come out yesterday. It's up to $5,000 for businesses who have been operating full-time in Winchester, like Winchester proper for 6 months, right? City limits for 6 months.
I didn't get that far into the details, but it is up to $5,000. I do know that.
Yeah.
And again, it's a city of Winchester's EDA. Hopefully the Frederick County will follow suit, but right now this is an announcement by the city of Winchester.
I said it was the last thing the last time, but United Way at last board meeting set up a relief fund from out of some of their reserved funds, and they're looking at it to match. So any dollars that are given, they'll match, and they put aside $50,000 at this point. So we could get upward of 100,000 if people met that complete match on all that stuff. You can go on the United Way website and see all the stuff that's going on there.
That's awesome.
So Cynthia reminded me of something. I just wanted to point this out, especially depending on who your clientels are and who your target customer is. Especially recently, just because of everything, you reminded me of it with the door knockers and with the mailers and stuff. Handwritten notes right now are a fantastic way to personalize, to not come across as trying to just sell something. It's you can order on Amazon. I think it's like 36 cards for like $10, probably even less than that. But just that handwritten note and that personalization of it is a huge thing. And I know that I enjoy getting them. And I've been sending them out a lot lately, just with everything going on. Everyone's being bombarded with emails. Everyone's being bombarded with phone calls. it's a different way of showing your support for them and making that personalized touch.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome tip. Alrighty.
And
Well,
I would say in conjunction with what Jackie said very quickly is also if that's a normal way of doing business for you, like in our industry, we send out birthday cards, review notices, all those sorts of things. Don't stop doing that just because you're at home. It's going to be a little bit more time consuming and trying to figure out the whole how it'll work with the self-quarantine thing, especially if you're someone in an industry that uses a courier service such as myself. But when your existing clients see that stop, you put them more on edge subconsciously than you think. I had several conversations with folks who said, you're the first person that I've talked to because my regular guy didn't even call me. So in conjunction with what Jackie said, keep trying to do business as normal if that's a normal way of you reaching your clients.
yeah, the last things want right now is for people you trusted to all of a sudden drop off the radar. So maintain what you're doing right now if you're able to, or as you're able to.
Staying in front of people as much as possible is the absolute most important thing for any business right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Any last comments? Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much. I'll be sending out, or Ashley will be sending out, the feedback form and all the other information we talked about, a Google Sheet, link to the Google Sheet, link to the Facebook group, and then the info that Christine mentioned with the webinar slide presentation and recording.
Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Can you also send the PowerPoint to me? I've had a couple requests.
Yes, sorry. My chat was blocked behind my presentation, so I didn't see when you guys said, could you go over those top 3 points again? So we'll send out the PowerPoint as well, and you guys can see those top 3 again, which were, by the way, that just initial buying, the general health and wellness buying patterns, the virus protection buying patterns, and pantry stockpiling for the initial stages. So. All right. Well, if there is nothing else, then I will go ahead and sign off, and we'll be following up with that email shortly. Thank you all so much.